my goodness, we've got a lot to talk about, haven't we? But first, Van Connor. Van is the man who's going to tell us about some movies. Van.
Petrie, how you doing, darling? Happy New Year. I haven't spoken to you yet this year.
I know. It's outrageous. I was hoping you were going to be in the studio, but no.
I was looking for you. New Year's Eve, it got to 11:58. I was looking around for you. Nowhere there.
Nowhere for a snog. I'm sorry.
Nowhere.
I was at work. That's why I was here. Talk me through these films. A Real Pain.
A Real Pain, which is the new film. This is actually written and directed by one of its two stars. So it's actually written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg, who co-stars in the movie alongside Kieran Culkin, who obviously is riding high at the moment because he's just off the back of Succession. He's then gone and won a Golden Globe for this as well. And then, you know, cherry on top, you know, they made a big thing out of him at the WWE. The day after, ringside, when at the same time. Sorry, I'm triggering the Apple thumbs up there. So this is the story of two cousins who, following the death of their grandmother, they decide to go on a trip to Poland. She was a Holocaust survivor who had emigrated to the States, so they decide, in her honor, following her passing, to take a trip together to Poland, go on the sort of tourist trip where they join like a group and they go on the train journey and they see all the cathedrals and all the other marketplaces and, of course, a concentration camp. And along the way, they also decide that they're going to end this trip with a journey to their grandmother's childhood home. You know, the homestead before the family were broken apart, you know, during the Holocaust, and then, of course, absconded to the US. But this journey also brings with it this exploration of not only their grief, but also their own individual issues, both with their own lives and with each other. So this is in cinemas now. I've got a clip for you. This is Kieran Culkin brilliantly flipping out on a train when he realizes that train, Poland, bit of a connection there. Have a listen.
Dude, we are Jews on a train in Poland. Think about it.
I'm Benji. Benji?
Yeah.
You're all right up there?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you know, it's, to be fair, fascinating.
No, I mean, I just feel like, sorry.
Okay.
Is anyone else, like, feeling this right now?
Feeling what?
Like this creepy feeling that, like, you know, we're like royalty on this train? I mean, does no one else see the irony here?
Jesus,
like eating fancy food and sitting up here when 80 years ago we would have been herded into the backs of these things like cattle.
Okay, Benji, I don't think anybody here wants to hear that right now.
Okay, why not? Why doesn't anyone want to hear it?
Because it's depressing.
Okay,
Look,
depressing?
it's okay. You're raising an interesting sensitivity here. It does sometimes come up on these tours. You're staying in fancy hotels, eating posh food, and at the same time you're looking back at the horrors of your family history.
That looks really good.
I can't see you.
No, there we are.
Oh, there we are.
We're
Back. We're back.
I'm here.
Yeah, it is really good. I'm happy to
It
say.
looks
I had a really good time
good.
with it.
Yeah.
I will say,
really into that.
I will say, if you saw the Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon thing, The Trip, a few years ago, they made a couple of those. This is sort of like what happens if you mash up The Trip with a Woody Allen movie, only a sort of younger skewing Woody Allen movie, and it works really well. They've got great chemistry and sort of banter and back and forth dialogue with one another. There's a palpable dynamic between them, and that obviously they are playing to type.
Yeah.
Like Jesse Eisenberg is the whiny neurotic one. In
He's
other words,
always is.
Jesse
but he does
Eisenberg,
it so well, doesn't he? I mean, I don't mind.
Exactly.
I don't mind that.
But it's the bouncing. The bouncing is the unique selling point here, and they do it so well with one another. It's worth the movie for that. I was really touched by it. I thought it was a really solid film.
Yeah, it looks absolutely brilliant. That's in cinemas now. What about Babygirl? One of my teens said she wanted to watch Babygirl.
Well, but be honest with you, Petrie, I've been dreading talking to you about Babygirl because it's it's about a powerful, striking woman of a certain age and the relationship she enters into with a younger subordinate. So of course I thought I've got to talk to Petrie about that. So Nicole Kidman is the striking. Yeah, Nicole Kidman is the striking, powerful woman of a certain age, and Harris Dickinson is the younger subordinate. He is her intern. She's like the powerful robotic CEO. He's the intern. At first they enter into a pretty by-the-numbers, bog-standard affair. But of course, this soon gives way to something a bit more, hence the clever title of the movie, once they enter into something of a baby girl daddy dynamic. Ooh. And this proves to be actually the missing component of her life. It proves to be the sort of connection that she's always been lacking, the thing that's always been distancing her from effectively human connection. But at the same time, it also threatens to sort of unravel her family life, her marriage, her career, the perception of her around the world. And at the same time, we start to explore the dynamics of what it means to be a woman in this profession, in any workplace, and the sort of pressures and things that you come across in that setting. I've got a clip for you, and this is the first meeting between the pair. This is a mentorship session at the company.
How did it start?
What?
The warehouse automation dream.
That is your question?
Yeah.
Google it.
No, I just wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
Because the internet's not reliable.
I wanted to automate repetitive tasks and give people their time back by limiting.
Power-hungry personalities?
You think that's what I am?
No. No. I think the opposite.
You think I don't like power?
No, I think you like to be told what to do. Sorry, I didn't mean to... Sorry.
Oh, forward much. Yeah, I think if I ever got into a relationship where I called my boyfriend Daddy, I'd have a word with myself. I think that's really creepy.
It's different strokes for different folks,
Yeah.
Petrie, you know what I mean? Yeah, I will say, this is hot. This movie's hot. I'm just going to say, I saw the reboot of Emmanuel today. This is hotter. This is like, if you're one of those people that likes the 50 Shades of Grey movies, obviously you have low standards of cinema to begin with, but you're going to love this. This is way hotter, way better, and actually a more nuanced and much better thought out depiction of kink culture in a mainstream film. Also, I mean, performances are terrific. Nicole Kidman, absolute queen in this. Banderas is my MVP, because Banderas with the dad bod, turns out the man's still got it, even with the dad bod. Harris Dickinson makes an impression as well, but I think the real star is Helena Rain, who has written and directed this. Basically focuses it all on a lot of tight, handheld close-ups, intimate lensing, some very sexy cinematography, very glossy, very glam, and also just a great soundtrack. I mean, at one point they start dropping things like Need You Tonight by In Excess, and my personal favourite, Father Figure by George Michael in a movie called Babygirl.
Of course.
What's not to love?
What's the certification on that?
Oh, that is an 18, and deservedly so, because there are things in Babygirl I have never seen depicted in a Hollywood film before.
Oh,
not even kidding.
Everybody in that room there, like little meerkats again. They all went. I think they'll all be watching Babygirl. Let's turn our attention to. I mean, this is supposed to be, of course, the season for awards. And nobody has got any appetite for that in LA. So a lot of them now, quite rightly, being pushed back.
Yes, I mean, we've had the Producers Guild nominations. I think have been pushed. The Critics' Choice Awards have been pushed. The BAFTA Tea Party in LA, that got pushed, and of course the biggie that we're all sort of keeping an eye on at the moment is the Oscar nominations, which were going to be taking place. I think it was on the 17th. They were then got pushed to the 19th, and they've now been pushed again in literally today.
Well, they might just release them rather than do a big, which they normally do in a theatre, don't they, with people there, but they might just release them on an email or something.
There was speculation about the Oscar nominations becoming an evening event this year, that the actual telecast, the actual broadcast in which they announced the Oscars might actually be an evening thing as opposed to like a breakfast time in the US kind of spot, because we normally get them around lunchtime. It's usually sort of early afternoon that we see them because it's going out for breakfast kind of in LA. The idea was that there was speculation this year that it was going to be an evening gig. I'll be honest with you, I'm not that excited about this year's awards season because it's just a very mixed bag of films. And I really don't want to see Wicked and Emilia Perez get any love that they don't deserve, which is to say any. I
just can't imagine there being an appetite for this for a long time, and they're still going to have to go ahead and do it, but it'll be a very mooted affair. I'm certain all of them will be.
There is the opportunity there as well, though, to effectively utilise the awards ceremonies and the awards season as a fundraising and awareness platform.
True. Yeah.
And that happened during COVID. During COVID, there was a lot of attention was drawn to first responders, and in certain awards ceremonies, I think they actually had, you know, medical response things like that as part of the ceremony. There is the opportunity here to do a similar thing, get like, you know, the LAFD involved, things like that, have representatives from the fire
That's a
department.
good idea. That
Like
I can see them supporting that, but I just think it's very difficult to stand there and take an award for pretending to be somebody else.
Right?
Right.
Like, thanks for watching The Substance, by the way, the country's burning down.
Right.
You know, it's a weird
all I did
idea.
was pretend to be somebody else, and there's dead people. But anyway, one thing I do want to very, very quickly say, I'm really excited about this, is Danny Boyle has revealed he'll be returning to direct the third film of the new 28 Days Later trilogy. What are they going to call it? 28 years later?
They are 20. It's 28 years later.
Right.
There is a second one that's already been filmed before the first one is out. That's directed by Nia DaCosta, and it's called 28 Years Later: The Bone Temple, I believe. And there is going to be a third one we've had confirmed, and forming this 28 Years Later trilogy. Danny Boyle will be back for that, so he will have directed the first one, then the fourth one, then the sixth one. Is the way this is going to. Sorry, the first one, then the third one, then the fifth one. Sorry, that's how it's all going to shake out for Danny Boyle.
Oh, he's brilliant. I mean, the first one was just incredible.
Oh, classic.
As indeed you are, my darling. Thank you so much, Van Connor. Mwah. Happy New Year, film critic there. Back in a sec.